Convicted Facebook rapist and murderer Thabo Beste's alleged partner, Dr. Nandipha Magudumana, could face prosecution if she's found to have practiced as a doctor after April 2021. That's because the Health Professions Council has now confirmed to News 24 that she had failed to pay her annual fees, which meant that she could not, as per the country's laws, practice as a doctor until that had been settled. Well, the South African Medical Association's chairperson, Dr. Mvuyisi Mzukwa, joins us now for more. Dr. Mzukwa, very good evening to you. I'm grateful for your time. How serious an offence is this for a doctor to have continued allegedly to practice despite the fact that they owed these annual fees?
Good evening to you, Tim, and to viewers, and thanks for having me in your program. As you put it, it is actually a criminal offense to be continuing to practice if you are not registered with the HPCSA, because all of us, we must be registered for accountability, to be traceable, and all the reasons that are put forward, for to be guided by the laws of the land. So if you are not registered, you actually cannot, you're not allowed to practice in South Africa without that proper HPCSA registration.
And what is the purpose of that registration and the payment of these annual fees? What is it does it seek to basically prove as far as making sure that one is operating as per what is set out in the rules and code of conduct?
Well, the HPCSA is supposed to be using those funds, obviously to guide the professions, including doctors, in terms of making sure that the structures in place, they can register on time, they can respond to queries, run their expenses properly, so they need that payment to be made, to the council. We know that the council is not at this point in time functional. It's very dysfunctional actually, and not fulfilling its obligations. And hence at times you get people doing it as they wish. The council is supposed to be also guiding communities, because they say they're protecting the nation, guiding communities in terms of how to identify doctors who are not registered, bogus doctors. As you know, we have lots of them in the country. But the HPCSA is not taking a lead on that one.
That brings me right to my next question about how it appears, if the HPCSA is correct, Dr. Magudumana had failed to pay these annual fees back in early 2021, but when you go through her social media, for instance, and accounts shared by people online, some people were still going to her practice as recently as in recent weeks, just last year as well. So who is checking to make sure that people whose affairs aren't in order don't open on the daily and operate?
Like I said, Temegile, what needs to happen is that the HPCSA should have a strategy where they work together with communities, empower communities, to be able to identify a doctor who's no longer registered. So that communities don't find themselves going to a doctor who's not registered. But also, if those colleagues around who know that there's a doctor who's practicing and is deregistered, those colleagues have an obligation also to report. Communities must be empowered. Police, SAPS must be empowered, to know who is registered, who's not registered. And there must always be that thing between HPCSA and communities with the law enforcement agencies.
I mean, I'm one of the people who've been to a doctor, and very few of us actually check if their affairs are in order. Is it as easy as taking down their practice number and checking? What do you do?
There is a website on HPCSA. I cannot speak on behalf of HPCSA. I'm not sure how updated is that website, but if you go through there, you can actually see. I've tried it myself with some of the colleagues to see if they are active or not, and I found it to be working. So if you just get the practice number, punch in the practice number there, the name of the doctor you are looking for, it will pop up and it will tell you if the doctor is active or not.
And given what is unfolding now with this story, the whereabouts of Dr. Magudumana unknown, as are the whereabouts of her alleged boyfriend, the killer and rapist Thabo Bester. She's accused of helping him basically fake an escape, pull off an escape by faking his death at a maximum security prison, no less, in Bloemfontein last year. What does this mean? Is there potential recourse within the health profession for someone, a doctor, who faces such serious allegations, even if they're not tried in court yet?
Well, Tembekile, as you may be aware, I don't have all the details and the facts around this matter, but I do think that at this point it will be taken as a criminal offense. You know, the doctor, first of all, is not registered, but also if the doctor is implicated in criminality, like any other ordinary citizen, they need to be followed by the law enforcement agencies, you know, so that they are held accountable for their actions.
And the HPCSA, if I'm right, has said that it's unable to take action against Dr. Magudumana because she's no longer registered, so therefore no longer falls under their umbrella. Does that mean then it's up to the people she may have treated, or anyone else can perhaps start the process for her to face some sort of investigation as per the fact that what she's alleged to have done is a criminal offense?
Now that the jury is out, I mean, everybody knows that she's not registered. And, you know, patients who are treated by her, they know that she's no longer registered. There's no, obviously, if they are serious about their lives, they cannot continue going to a doctor who's no longer registered. But also, you know, it's a matter that needs to be reported by communities now to the law enforcement agencies like the police. If you have a doctor who is known now to be unregistered and is practicing, so it's your health, you need to be responsible, you need to go to a responsible doctor.
Thank you very much for speaking to us, Dr. Mvuyisi Mzukwa.